November 2022. Since then, I have facilitated the workshop for over 3,000 participants. And I thank you all for joining this workshop and taking your time to be part of the I Am Remarkable workshop. I also want to mention that post this workshop, if you DM me, then I'll be able to share a post workshop survey form and also a participant certification, a certificate of participation that makes you eligible to attend the Train the Trainer program in case you wish to join the movement or in case you wish to become an I Am Remarkable facilitator. All right. So first, let's go through the agenda points for today. So we'll be discussing about what is I Am Remarkable, and we'll also indulge in some exercises along with the reflection and the research that I Am Remarkable has found so far. Talking about the I Am Remarkable workshops. So I Am Remarkable movement, it started in 2016 as an internal Google initiative. And initially, it was focused on empowering women to talk more openly about their accomplishments in the workplace and also challenging the established gender modesty norms. However, the team quickly realized that the issues raised weren't specific just to women. It applied to everyone, including the underrepresented groups across genders, across ethnicity, the sexuality, ability, who or more like to experience stereotypes related to competence and ability. And hence, the workshop is therefore now available to everyone, whether you are currently comfortable with self promotion or whether you would just like to better understand the difficulties that others face and challenge that exist in the perception or the preconception of self promotion. So you'll be glad to know that 82% of our participants have noticed or witnessed an increased confidence, motivation level, and also increased self-esteem by the end of the workshop. Anyone of you would like to add something to this? All right, so we'll move forward. Why is recognizing and sharing your achievements important? Can you please add to it? Why is it important? Why are we here to understand the concept of self-promotion?
To showcase our talent, to know, let the world know that you have these skills.
Right. Amrita is saying it helps to grow and learn so that others can know about us and how we can add value. True. Any more responses? For self motivation and build our brand. Very true. So first, and for most, it is very important for our own well-being. Research shows that recognizing our accomplishments, it has a positive effect on our well-being, self-confidence, and motivation. And one of you just mentioned that it is for our motivation. Yes, to increase our confidence. Well said, Ritu. We also share our experiences so that we can inspire others who may learn from our stories. And why is it important to promote yourself or self promote yourself or talk about your achievements in the workplace? Why do you think is it important to talk about your achievements in the workplace?
To get promotions.
Yes, without achievements we can't move forward. Right. So for our careers, sharing our achievements can be critical to our progression and growth. And knowing that this is important and is one thing that is very important, but at the same time applying it poses a lot of challenge. So how many of you attending the workshop are comfortable talking about your achievements in workplace or beyond, or maybe in your personal life? Give me a thumbs up. Little bit. All right. Mm-hmm. So the ones who said that you are a little bit comfortable or you're not comfortable, can you please tell me or think of a time that you hesitated to share an achievement? Give me a thumbs up if you ever hesitated to share an achievement. It can be any scenario. It can be within the personal life or it can be at the workplace. Yeah, so we all share the same experience that we find it difficult or there has been a time where we hesitated in talking about our achievements. So, just out of the personal experience, I'll share one incident that since my husband is in the army and we keep traveling, we keep moving to places. So, I had a really difficult time talking about my achievements when I switched jobs and I moved to a new location, because the underlying thought was that if I talk about my achievements so far, so people might take it that I am bragging or maybe I'm doing a lot of show off, and that would make me kind of unacceptable within that social group. So have you ever faced similar situations? Yeah. So why, other than the social acceptance, why do you hesitate to share your own achievements? If we forget about the society, you feel scared, right? Shyness.
So sometimes when we share our achievements too much, so some people would think that oh, she can be given a lot of work, and so you end up taking uneven share of work. So sometimes that can be very detrimental if the work is not distributed properly, and
Mhm.
you're not rewarded appropriately.
When you're not rewarded properly, right? And how often do you take time to recognize your own achievement? So do you often recognize your achievement? It can be as small as anything, not much.
Probably when you feel satisfied with yourself, or you know that the feeling that you get, believe.
Right. So when we talk about the term accomplishment, it's a subjective term. It can have different definition for different people. Right. For me, it is like whenever I am becoming a better version of myself, or maybe if I'm improving in any skill or anything, be it 0.1% of what I was earlier, is an accomplishment. So similarly, we all have different parameters, different definition of accomplishment, right? But the reason that we shy, as Ritu also mentioned, that it is because of shyness that we are not talking about our achievements. The fact says that it is not bragging if it is based on facts. So have you heard of the term imposter syndrome? Are you aware of the term imposter syndrome? Yes, very good. So imposter syndrome is a situation where a person feels that or starts doubting the self-worth, right? So when you are confident about your own accomplishment, it is very easy to talk about your accomplishments. So if you let's say if you have worked on a project and accomplished a goal or made a difference in some way, so why shouldn't you talk about it? If I have done something and I'm talking about it, so what is wrong in talking about my achievement or my progress? Is there anything wrong if I talk about what I have done so far? No.
No.
So then what stops us? Why is there so much of inhibition in speaking when we are actually aware that whatever I am talking and whenever I'm talking about my accomplishments, that means it is something that I have achieved in life?
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. Anything else?
Lack of maybe the to express, how you feel. Lack of words, maybe. So you're not able to express yourself in a correct way.
Self-consciousness.
Self consciousness. All right. So now that we have discussed so many things, that there's lack of self consciousness, there's lack of self awareness. So now, have I evoked some sort of awareness in you so that you are aware that you have achieved something so far? Yes. Wonderful. So the inhibition is usually because most of the people around us, they don't feel us, or they don't make us feel important, all right, or they don't perhaps travel the path along with us while we are climbing the success ladder. So for an example, not only may doing self promotion or talking about your achievements help you with your own career story or your career progress, it may also help you to inspire others. So, how many of you are fond of watching TED Talks? Give me a thumbs up. Everyone? Yeah. So, why do we enjoy watching TED Talks? Why is it so popular?
They talk about their achievements, and we feel inspired.
Yes, right. Because there's always, the speaker's narrative is usually some form of accomplishment, that whether a speaker has written a book or whether a speaker has helped people from underprivileged strata of the society, And because we find hearing about their achievements inspirational and motivation, so why is there a lag that we are comfortable listening to others' motivational and inspirational story rather than talking about our own accomplishments? So, do you now understand the difference? That we are enjoying or we are getting inspired when others are talking about their achievements, but at the same time we have the awareness, we know that we are capable of doing certain things, we have accomplished something so far, but at the same time there's a inhibition. So next time whenever you come across such sort of inhibition, just think about that even your story is capable of motivating or inspiring people around us. So, for an example, we had a very difficult time during COVID, right? Some of us have also lost jobs, or maybe some of us have witnessed someone in the family or in the friend circle who was struggling with jobs. But now, when you make a comeback, how does it feel? Or when you are back in the workforce?
A sense of accomplishment.
Sense of accomplishment. And your this sense of accomplishment, when you talk about this sense of accomplishment or when you share this experience with others, it is capable of inspiring others. So just losing a job and getting a new one or getting a fresh job in hand can be a regular affair for you because you are well aware of your capabilities. But at the same time, from a second person's perspective, it is a huge achievement. Someone who is really struggling can get a lot of boost or a lot of courage that, okay, this hustling will eventually take me somewhere. So that's why we say that it's not bragging. So when you're talking about your accomplishments, it's not bragging if it is based on facts. And most importantly, your accomplishments do not speak for themselves. So let's say if there is a gold medalist in this group. So until and unless you do not talk about your academic excellence, will any one of us ever get to know? No. So this is important. This is an important realization because our accomplishments, they do not necessarily speak for themselves. We cannot assume that whatever others do or do not know about us. All right, so if I am here and I do not tell you that I have facilitated n number or say x a certain number of workshops, so how will you know? Shall I expect you to just go to my LinkedIn profile and check, or shall I there are certain details which are not even present there? So shall I expect you to go and reach out to the companies where the workshop was conducted? No, no one has that much of time to do that sort of work, homework or that sort of research just to find about one person X in this whole world, right? So similarly, when you are meeting someone and if you're talking about your accomplishments, there is nothing wrong. And most importantly, the other person is not aware of your capabilities. And talking about, always remember that talking about your accomplishment is a skill. Like you flex your muscles in the gym to keep your body active. Similarly, talking about your accomplishment is also a skill, and it is absolutely okay to play around with this skill. So you won't always get it right, and at times it might even feel odd. But you can always look for a role model to mimic in order if you are just trying to learn this skill or learn it from anyone who is a kind of role model or anyone from your family whom you think is capable of doing it. And when you start practicing this skill over time, you will find that now that it has become your natural voice, that it, the self promotion and talking about your accomplishment will come naturally and very organically to you, so that you get to feel more comfortable in self promoting, and that feels true to you. So what are your thoughts about this statement when I say that the more you flex this muscles, the more it becomes organic for you? Is it more inspiring you? Yes, wonderful, true. Amrita says the more you do it, it becomes a routine. Great. So now that we have started talking, and I'm really enjoying being a part of this or facilitating this workshop where you all are just coming up and being so active in the group. So, do you have any personal experience that you would like to share regarding how talking about your accomplishments has changed things for you? Anyone?
I can speak. I have many, but I'm not sure which one to talk about.
Anything, anything. You talk whatever you feel like sharing. We all will get inspired.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, that about words. So I understood because I'm a very social person and I meet a lot of people and I've met a lot of people in my life. And I figured, because people are not very confident in expressing themselves is mostly because they also lack words and how to express themselves.
Mhm.
So that made me very drawn to studying the meaning of words. So I have started to study semantics, which means meaning of words. And since the day I've started understanding, not understanding, but rather feeling the words, it has just changed my entire perspective towards life, towards how I look at things. And I've come to a stage that I want to become that word now. So I try and I implement and try to be that word so I can also like share my stories and experiences and let other know how it feels to be the word. I hope I can explain it better. I'm trying to. So yeah, this is something that I have learned like over the years, a few years ago, when I started to notice that.
Thank you so much for sharing, and it's really insightful and inspiring.
Thank you.
Varsha, you have a question?
No, Dipanshi, I just wanted to share one of my experience.
Yes, please.
First of all, I would like to thank you. This is an excellent session, much needed for all of us. There was an instance in our earlier organization where I was pitched in to solve some situation which was created by some other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I solved it. As per my understanding, I solved it pretty well. But obviously, we don't talk about it, and it was like it was about to go unnoticed. But I don't know what happened in the end of it. I told my boss, how it was solved and what all we put in to so that it doesn't get escalated, and in the end all went fine. So at that point in time, I realized that if nobody is speaking about it, I can speak for myself. I should be highlighting it. And this one point I have kept with me, and I'm going to talk about it many times in the future. This is what
That,
I wanted to share.
that's really wonderful. And, gathering that courage to speak up,
Yes.
it's commendable. Thank
It's
you
it.
so much for sharing, Varsha.
Thank you, Dipanshi. It's like if no one is talking about it, you can talk about it yourself.
True, true.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi Deepanshi. Hello everyone. So I have had a lot of workplace accomplishments, which I will not want to discuss in this forum. Rather, I will want to discuss something wherein my accomplishments have been kind of mentor to the kids in my house. So in my family, almost everyone is very well educated. Everyone is placed at a good positions in good companies, but no one talks about it much in the house because they we all prefer leaving work in the workplace. But when I entered the family as a daughter-in-law, I started speaking about what happened in the office, how I was appraised, how I was applauded, and all the achievements I was getting, which inspired a lot of kids in the house, because I have a joint family. So the kids have started looking up to my profession as a go-to profession because they hear so much about the accomplishments I get in my workplace. So it inspires them, and now they come to me as a mentor or to guide them on how do they do this, how do they do that. So if you don't speak, people don't get to know how to speak up, how to do things. And once you start doing it, you actually become a mentor to a lot of people. And also, you broaden your own knowledge when people come up to you with questions. You might not have answers to all, but definitely it gives you a bigger platform wherein you increase your knowledge as well.
Right. That's beautiful, beautiful, Ritu.
Thank you.
And it's even more wonderful to know that how your experiences, or how your act of taking that move has inspired so many people in your family. That's really wonderful. So remember that it is important that we are able to understand and share the unique value of our work for our personal and professional benefit. So, like Ritu mentioned, she just mentioned that while when she started talking about her own experiences in the office, how she was applauded, so even the other kids in the family, they started looking up to her. Similarly, when Varsha mentioned that she took a stand, and she understood that when others are not talking, it's important to speak up to get these things resolved. So research also shows that we can't depend on other people to notice and understand us better, because who knows us better? It's just me,
Ourselves.
myself. Right,
Yes.
right, ourselves. So go by the concept or by the funda of करीना कपूर, मैं अपनी फेवरेट हूँ, राइट? जब मैं अपनी फेवरेट होंगी तभी मैं दूसरों की फेवरेट बन पाऊंगी, because I have to love myself, I have to project myself. Only when I realize my worth, the others will understand what I'm capable of. Furthermore, celebrating our achievements in small or big ways, it combats our brain's negativity bias. How? By boosting our self-esteem and motivating us to achieve even more. Does this sound exciting? Give me a thumbs up. So it's not just our own beliefs about self-promotion that can pose barriers. The responses and the reactions that we get from other, or the or from other people, that also challenges our ability to self-promote. And the commonly held stereotypes that can influence how we perceive the competence of people across many identities, including race, gender, age, ability, and neurodiversity. So, when it comes to race, there is always an unconscious bias that can mean the difference between looking at someone of a particular race and perceiving them to be naturally talented, or looking at them and perceiving them to be somewhat who just got lucky. So, for example, I'll just share that we are Bengalis, and there is a sort of stereotype around Bengalis that they are wonderful singers. But my husband doesn't sing. Then there are also people who think that Bengalis are like very intellectual people. They read a lot. My husband doesn't read. So when we see, and Ritu is saying that they have beautiful eyes, but I wear specs and I don't have beautiful eyes, right? So these are just small stereotypes, but when we just broaden our horizon, and when we move to a global audience, the stereotypes also move across races, the gender, and especially in developing countries like India, we have this. Although we talk a lot about gender equality, but we are still facing a lot of gender bias at workplace. Thank you, Minakshi. And people on the receiving end of these biases, they are less likely to get credit for their ideas, or are interrupted more often during the team interactions and have less influence on the team. So, next time, whenever you see this happening at your workplace, or in your family, or in your friend circle, just be mindful that everyone around you has a different perspective and a different experience and understanding level. So with self promotion and our own beliefs, we are not only shaping our own image, but also we are changing our way of receiving others. So when we start self promoting ourselves, or when we start talking about our accomplishments, we become even more accepting, even more accommodating to people when they talk about their achievements. And that's when we kind of start, I would say, making that line disappear, the line of biases, we start making it blur so that it disappears in our subconscious mind, and we only focus on the capabilities of that person. So, have you faced any sort of language barrier at your workplace? Yes?
Yes, I have.
And how was it perceived by you when you saw that barrier? How did it feel? How did you overcome the situation?
So I was very open to the fact that, when the conversations are not happening in the language which I do not understand, and being a part of the meetings, I have made it very clear in every meeting after the conversation went in a language which was not understood. Can you please summarize it to me? Because I am a part of the meeting. I am very well aware that I need to be aware what is happening there. So I've been vocal about it, asking someone who knows the language, English or Hindi, to
Mm-hmm.
just translate it for me or summarize it to me. And I have made it clear at times that can we please restrict the meeting to a Hindi or an English communication.
And Ritu, I'm also curious to know that since that is your stand for yourself, right? That you
Yes.
understand certain languages and you want the meeting to go or to be held in those languages.
Yes.
So, have you also been an ally to someone who is facing language barrier at workplace?
So fortunately, Deepanshi, I have never come across a situation wherein someone else is facing language barrier, because right now I'm in Hyderabad, and in my workplace people understand Telugu,
Mm-hmm.
and mostly everyone speaks Hindi and English also. So I am the only one who faced that issue with not understanding Telugu during meetings. So even in the board meetings and all, I've been vocal about it, that can we have the conversation in Hindi or in English usually,
Mm-hmm.
so that I get everything out of the meeting.
Wonderful. So now that we understand that language, although language can foster inclusion, but there are also biases related to the language or the dialect or the even accents that can create exclusion in a person in a professional setting. So, how many of you here will commit to bring awareness to a group in your workplace whenever you come across such unconscious biases? So after
And
this workshop, are you committing yourself that you will not let the language bias or any sort of identity bias, the gender bias, race bias, that you are not going to tolerate it and you will just help the other person in overcoming this unconscious biases? Great. So why are we talking about biases when the workshop was all about self promotion? So why are we talking about it? Why is it important to talk about the biases?
So that others perceive us properly.
So it is important for us to be proactively aware of our biases and intentionally disrupt them so that we can support our own well-being and growth, as well as we can help others also grow better. So furthermore, women leaders, for that instance, there has been a lot of judgmental questions around it. And at times, it is also seen that in the workplace setting or even in the family, uh, there are women criticizing the women leader. So, after this workshop, I would expect each one of you to be aware of that unconscious bias and just help the other person get empowered and support the other person whenever there is some sort of negative talk about a leader or maybe anyone who is just talking about their achievements, as you now understand the importance of self promotion. And when we are intentionally inclusive, we can improve our relationships, and this also fosters like a lot of problem solving and creativity in your professional as well as personal lives. So now we'll quickly move towards an exercise. We'll have
Sorry, Dipanshi, I will want to add one point to it. The biasness thing which you mentioned. So, it's very good if your organization is open to accepting the fact that you are raising concerns. But having said this, since it's a larger forum, I would want to add that people should raise the concern, but they should also see how their organization perceives it, because sometimes it can backfire as well.
right, but then the intent is always to help, but not harming yourself and helping other, but it's
Yes,
just creating a conducive environment where we all feel accepted, where we all feel happy about the situation.
yes, very true.
But I think when you open up and you try to put your point, it backfires because they'll somehow, remove you from the job or things like that. It happened with me,
Mm-hmm.
and they literally, asked me to leave, and they had nothing, no, nothing, just because they did not like what I had to say, because I said no to a particular work they were asking me to do, and that was not in my job profile, and I did not say no to it. I said I felt very demeaning because they put a price tag to what I was going to do, and the amount that they said was very demeaning, and I felt very bad. And I just said that I don't think I'm going to take up this work, and they didn't like it, and they waited. They were waiting for, like, it took them 2 to 3 months to find some mistake, and there was absolutely no mistake, and they removed me from a job. So how does that, I was pretty, I was doing very good, and I was doing my work properly. There was no complaint. That's why it took them 2 or 3 months, but they were holding on to that thing for so long, and they waited, whenever they get a chance, and they'll remove me, and they did, and there was no mistake of mine.
Yeah, that situation arises because, as I said, that we even in the workplace setting, we lack a lot of support system. Had there been people who were supporting you, then the organization or the management wouldn't have taken that step. If there were people who were backing you.
I was doing a remote work at that point,
Hmm.
and plus what happens is, like, nobody is going to really back you up, because everybody is scared to go through what I went through. So therefore, a lot of people do not want to really interfere, because most of them are, of course, everybody is worried. It's their bread and butter, and people are working, to earn money, and then they don't really want to be there. In most 99% of the time, people will not stand up with you. So it's your battle, and you have to face it.
So, Dipanshi, can I add here?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, sorry, I didn't get the name of the person who was just speaking.
Samira.
Samira. Hi, Samira. Ritu
Hi,
this
Ritu.
side.
Hi, Ritu.
Samira, I completely understand your problem because I have been into leadership roles. So I know these kind of situations do come up, and I don't know the organization. Of course, I'll not ask you to reveal also. But having said this, yes, these are the practical situations, and no one stands up for you in such situation, because for everyone, their job is important. And normally these decisions are top down driven, not bottom up driven, so you cannot actually make a group and enforce certain things on them, is my thought. So
Absolutely, yeah.
others might have a different opinion on it, but of course, having said this, there is always a little political way of approaching to saying no in workplaces. uh, and unfortunately, this is the kind of environment we stay in, wherein you have to understand the person who is asking you to do some work, how the person will perceive your response. So you have to be very calculative in terms of the way you respond to it, whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it, is of course something you have to be very careful in the way you respond, because I have myself said no to no for work many times, and it has backfired me as well, but unfortunately not to the extent it did to you. But having said this, I have set a ground rules that okay, I can deliver up to this level, I can do up to this, I will not be able to go beyond this. In one particular situation, actually I went ahead and I told I don't know how to do it, you put someone who can help me do it, and I made that person only do the work.
Right. I have been very polite about it when I speak, because, of course, I'm not an aggressive person. And I've been extremely polite when I put it across that I didn't want it to do that work. But that, and no, anyways, if no matter how you say a no to them, a no hits them very bad, like, how dare you say that word to me, you are here and you have to work. And this is most of the employment. But like you said, of course, we cannot have make a group and go, because it's your own battle and you have to fight it, and you have to face the consequences. But yeah, it happens. But that actually made me aware of my rights. I was very upset that this can happen. And I ended up reading about labor laws. And I was pretty shocked, that we are not aware about it, because no company can actually terminate you without any reason. So they had like a personal grudge over me, and I asked them to give me a termination letter, and they sort of refused to do that. And I said, they said, we'll give you a relieving letter. I said, I do not want a relieving letter. You terminated me. So give me a termination letter. And that's what shook them. That's what really shook them. And they were like, wow, they would probably have to get into some legal battles and things like that. Because legally, I can go and still do a case on them. But yeah, but I still asked them for a termination letter. But I wish I had the money to do it. But currently I don't. But otherwise, yeah. So I found out at least a good thing about labor law, where no company can terminate you just because they do not like what you said, or just because of their personal reasons, and they have to give you like a valid reason. Yeah,
And
that's all.
while you are discussing this and you're sharing this experience, do you realize that in a way you have self promoted your strength?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I'm pretty much. I am a very righteous person, and I believe in the laws. And I have been reading about a lot of HR policies, because uh, I do not want to divert from the topic, but I think currently the corporate world is in war with nature. So they have hired humans, but they forget how to treat humans. And that's where there is a war going on, and that's why we are facing so much of problems and biases and things like that in today's time. And yep, I hope we come get over this. And I've been reading a lot of about HR, and now the whole HR system is going to be changed. They're going towards more like holistic HR, and they are actually using AIs to resolve problems. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that. So because they have found, like in my case, how I was terminated because it was their personal thing that they did not like it. Work wise, there was no issue. So because it's a legal issue that it can be, they have started using AI, because AI is does not have an emotion. So it will give you, if you put a problem about a certain employee, it gives you a reply not based on emotion but based on logic. So they are actually HRs are going to AI. So yeah, that is what's going on. I'm not sure if you all are aware of it.
All right. Thank you for sharing this, Samira. We'll quickly move to an exercise and we are approaching the end of the session. So you'll have to write down 3 reasons. I am remarkable because. Write it for yourself. It's 6:22 in my watch, and we'll discuss or we'll share this at 6:24. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Write as many as you can, right? And but your sentence or the statement should begin with I am remarkable because. All right. So Kavita says I'm remarkable because I try to write and I try to help my mother-in-law. Wonderful. Because then Ritu says I'm remarkable because I'm good at what I do. All right, so let's flex these muscles. Like now you have identified your accomplishments or your unique value. Now it's time for some self promotion exercise that instead of me reading it out, you all, like who all are posting and even others, speak about or share why are you remarkable, whatever you have written and how many points have you written so far. So we'll begin with Kavita.
Pardon, ma'am, I did not get you, ma'am.
Yeah, so please, whatever you have written, I am remarkable, how many points were you able to write?
Two
Why are
points.
you 2 points? Okay, so can you please share it with us?
Yeah, because I tried to help my mother-in-law in home course at home, and I try to write. I am not much capable of writing, but I am trying to improve, trying to listen to training sessions in HerKey and try to improve my writing, ma'am.
Wonderful. And Kavita, congratulations that you have learned the skill or the art of self promoting.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank
Yes. Anyone else? How many points have you written about your why are you remarkable and what is it? Ritu has mentioned three. Ritu, can you please speak it up?
Yeah, sure. So I feel I'm remarkable because I am good at what I do, both in my personal front as well as my professional front. I also feel, I am remarkable because I have the capability to motivate people through what I do and what I speak. I also feel that there is a point which a lot of us miss saying, I don't know. So I think I have that in me that I can stand up and say I don't know, but I would love to know and learn things. So I feel that's a remarkable quality in me that I don't shy away from saying certain things which I don't know. I'm open to learning it.
Wonderful. Devi says, I'm remarkable because I'm strong, fighter, I'm a leader. Wonderful.
Deepanshi, I just would like to add here. So the situation which Samira spoke today, today I am also going through the same thing due to some issue in the organization with my reporting manager. He
Mhm.
kept some personal grudges for a long time, and when the actual layoff, the thing started, termination, my name was suggested, and I was asked to go. But today, it's been a month now. My last working day was 29 June. It's been a month. I'm still strong and fighting, and I'm trying my best to find a place for me in the organization. I'm trying to find a job. And I am remarkable today because even though what has been done by the management, without thinking or without even investigating what they have done, I'm still stood up. I'm fighting, and I believe I'm a strong fighter and a leader, and that's why I'm a remarkable person.
You are truly remarkable, Devi. And Nisha has also written that I'm remarkable not because of my accomplishments, but because of the struggle I went through to achieve them. That is even more courageous and beautiful, Nisha. And that made me tough to face the world, but mindful of my actions and how I treat my juniors. This is commendable. So, thank you everyone for being so active in the chat box and also for participating in this session. So now I want to ask you that while you have written things about yourself, why are you remarkable, and while you have shared it in the chat box or just on the mic, so how does it feel talking about your unique value? So has it given a boost to your confidence? Do you commit to doing this even or practicing it in your professional and personal lives? So we had just given you a gist of the thing, but you need to, as I said, that this is a muscle that needs to be flexed in a routine. So all the best, and we'll have these sessions again in future. So whenever you feel, and I have also dropped my email ID and my contact number, so I request you all to please all right. So Varsha has written, I'm remarkable because I'm aware of myself, my strength, weakness, and I have the capability to solve my challenges. Thanks a lot, Deepanshi. Thank you so much, Varsha. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I have dropped my email ID and my contact number in the chat box. Please ping me so that I'm able to share the post survey form with you all. And also, that would help me in issuing your certificates once I know your email IDs. Right, so if possible, please do it right after the session. It will be of much help. Oh, wonderful. I have the capability to solve my challenges and bounce back. So you're high on resilience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Hi,
everyone.
Deepanshi.
Yes, please.
Uh,
Yes, please.
Hi, Kokila here.
Yeah.
So, Deepanshi, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for such a insightful session you have given us today, because these kind of sessions we need to build our confidence, and we need this reality check regularly, because there are many people out there who are waiting to break our confidence in different ways. But I think this exercise what you made us do really will help us, and I hope we have many more sessions from your end, and we all will be excited to join that next session.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Kokila. It was my pleasure to host this session. And I thank each one of you for taking out your precious time for attending this workshop.
Thank you everybody for joining in.
So,
Please do follow Deepanshi on HerKey as well. Y'all can DM her or send her an email regarding the certificate she was talking about. Thank you so much, Deepanshi.
just give me a moment, Kokila, please. I'll
Yeah, yeah, sure.
repost my.
Meanwhile, even I will share your HerKey profile ID.
Right. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you.